Welcome back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. I do want to welcome you here for another week here at the channel. I'm so excited that you stopped by for another video here at Simply Fujica. If you're new to this channel, I am Fujica and I serve this community as a business mentor, and I help people achieve getting their licenses so that they can own and operate their own non-medical home care agencies. Before we get started, I'm so excited to announce my next webinar. We are talking about step by step what is needed in order for you to start your non-medical home care agency. Now, a lot of you are familiar with my checklists that I have created in order for you to start your businesses. So this webinar is that checklist on steroids. At the end of this course, you should be able to know the ins and outs of how to start that non-medical home care agency. The class is actually going to be held on Saturday, May 20th. If you're ready to sign up, the link will be in the description, and I hope to see you there. So today we are talking about what are some things to do to make sure that you are auditing your own home care agency to ensure that your agency is a successful one. So if that's something that you're interested in, and I hope it is, then stay tuned. So those of you who have followed my channel for a while, you know that sometimes I'm inspired by conversations that I have with people, and those conversations will turn into videos. So I was having a conversation at a conference that I was attending for my other business that I have. And so we were talking about people who are no longer invited to be part of the program. And one of the reasons why people are not invited to be a part of the program that I'm in is because people aren't able to meet payroll. And I thought to myself, wow, that how could it be that you're not meeting payroll? And so I thought to myself, you know, it really shouldn't be a surprise, or financially there should be a way that you should be tracking how you're looking financially in your business to where you know whether or not you're going to meet payroll. And so I thought to myself, that person is either not being financially responsible with their finances, or they're not looking at their finances in a timely manner so that they could proactively do something about what they're seeing in their finances. Either way, they're not really auditing the activity in their business to ensure that they're being successful. So I thought, wow, that's video worthy, because as business owners, it is our responsibility to make sure that our operation is a smooth one and that we are successful. Because as people show up to work for us, they expect to receive pay for the amount of time that they put into our business. And that is part of the operation, the financial piece of it. It's really important to make sure that you know on all aspects of your business, is it running seamlessly? Is it running the way that you anticipate? And is it running effective and efficiently for you? Okay, so now with that, let's get started. So the first tip that I have for you is the policies and procedures that you spent so much time creating. Are you following those policies and procedures? So remember, guys, you can put all of the policies and procedures and processes together all you want, but if you're not following those processes, then does it really matter? Is it really going to hold weight for you in the long run? So I know some of you have heard the saying, a process is only as good as the person following it. Guys, that's a true statement. So you can put together the most well thought out, beautiful process with beautiful steps and everything is thought out. But if no one is not following the process, or if you're alleviating a step, then what good is that process? And how is that process going to protect you as it's designed if you're not following it? So how can you make sure that your policies and procedures are being followed? The first thing that you can do is make sure the people that are in the know, or the people that are actually utilizing that process, that they are aware of the process, and that there is a process in place for you to audit that that policy is being enforced. Okay, so what does that look like? Well, if you expect a person to be running a report once a month, right? Well, you can either have the person send you the output of that report once a month. You can have the person, you can even have a small conversation with that person to talk about the results of the output of that report. But there's got to be some way to inspect what you expect in your business. If you don't do that and you assume that things are being done, you can't be surprised when you find out that they're not, or they're not being done consistently as you expect. The second tip that I have for you today is you want to make sure that you employ the use of checklists. Now, you guys know I love a good checklist. I have a checklist for almost everything that I do in my business. It is a real quick way for me to ensure that I'm doing every task associated with a certain process. So you guys know, if you have watched my videos for any length of time, I like to use the example, a new hire. Anyone that's being onboarded into my organization, I love to have the proper folder. And on that folder, I have a checklist of what makes a person a hire. Once I see all of those checklists, I know that that person is eligible for hire. If even one checklist is not marked, then I know not only to follow up on it, but I also know that that person is not eligible, right? So that's a small example, but you can apply that example to plenty of processes in your organization. So make sure, whatever those processes may be, whether it's 4 steps, 5 steps, or 6 steps, turn those steps into boxes so that you can check those boxes, making sure that you're in 100% compliance in order for you to check something off and say that it's good to go within your organization. The third and final tip that I have for you is to create financial reports to help you understand the health of your organization. So going back to the first example that I used at the top of this video, for someone who is not able to meet payroll, this is not something that's going to happen just like that. There would have had to be weeks, even months, leading up to you not meeting payroll. Now, whether that's you don't have the clients that you're expecting to receive, whether that's a client not paying on time or not paying at all. So all of those actions deserve a reaction from you in your business, okay? And so you've got to learn how to pivot during those ebbs and flows of your business, because we all can talk. If you've run any amount of business for a certain point of time, you know that there's a high point in your business. You know there's a time where you're kind of maintaining, and then there's going to be some low points. So you can't just make sure that when times are high, when things are doing really good, you can't be out there like, oh, this is a time for me to party and have a good time. No, you're the business owner now. So because you're anticipating or knowing when those lulls are going to be in your business, your finances should also reflect that. So what does that mean? Are you putting extra money aside for that? Are you lowering the cost or tapering the cost in another area to make sure you survive that lull? How are you managing expenses during that lull? So you really have to know your business in order to make those decisions. And so you should have 1 to 2, maybe even 3 reports that you're constantly looking at to see how healthy you are. But guys, looking and identifying those reports is only one part of the equation. The other half of the equation is making sure that you're doing actionable steps as a result of what's being presented to you. So in other words, you can't realize that you've been losing money in your business for 90 days and hope it gets better. What decisions are you going to make for your business during those lulls? Because as a business owner, you have people depending on you. So you have to make sure that with whatever indicators you're seeing in your business, whatever your reports are telling you, whatever your business knowledge is telling you, that you're making the right decisions. So what does that look like in your business? Are you going to have to up your marketing so that you can bring in more clients? Does that mean you're going to have to scale down on some of your expenses? So what are you going to do to start to tip that scale back into having to get that finances going back in the right direction? Okay. So I like to have these conversations. I love when I have these conversations out in the field and I'm able to bring them back to you. Because this is real life stuff. We like to talk about good things, we like to talk about fun things and light things, but this is some serious stuff that happens as a result of being business owners. What are other audit attributes that you have in your home care agency? I would love to hear below. Okay guys, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you haven't already, please support the channel by liking the video. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I drop a new video. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Stay blessed.